What's up, Panther Nation? It's your boy, the Professor, bringing you CarolinaCatChronicles.com, the C3 podcast live tonight. We've got a power-packed show. I've got my best buddy here, Joe, that freaking Puerto Rican Riolano. Say hello.
What up, Panther Nation? It is me, the freaking Puerto Rican, live in full effect tonight from the low country of South Carolina, Charleston to be exact. Happy to be here. Can't wait to get this show started.
Joe, when I say we have a power-packed show, dude, I'm talking about we've got the fan spotlight winner who announced 2 tickets to the home opener versus Detroit. We're previewing the Bucs the opening of football is Sunday, well, this week, and for us on Sunday at 4:25, I believe. We are then at 10:30 bringing in Jets writer from U Stadium to talk about the Stephen Hill signing, and that's just like scraping the surface. So, are you ready for that? All that work tonight?
Let's make it happen. I'm excited.
Okay. We also have to welcome the heaviest hitter on YouTube when it comes to Carolina Panthers, the voice, 2525.
And y'all already know. Hey, man, thanks for having me on y'all show here tonight, man. Hey, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Let me come on for a little bit.
I heard you've been going at it with the Bucs fans this week.
Yeah, and I just got off on, let me go ahead and plug them too. I don't know if you guys heard of Bucs Brief podcast. They got a pretty interesting podcast going, and they co-host, he a little fired up and mad at the boys. They did their show at 9 o'clock, and he was hoofing and hollering, talking trash about the voice knowledge and all this and that. And he said something about the Cat Chronicles super fan, and he showed y'all some love, so I'm just giving them their love back.
Right on. Well, we'll check it out. We'll check it out for sure. We'll drop the link to it in the comment section on YouTube, and because that's how we can all grow together.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I love to see what the Bucs are saying about us, because I know what we're saying and what Panther Nasty be saying, and that the Bucs just sucks.
Believe it.
Before we jump in, I also want to pay a little homage to our boy Big Q, who is probably the second hardest working dude on YouTube other than Louis T. And I don't know Louis T that well, but that dude pumps out videos like crazy. But Big Q, tonight, right now, they are in a show, and they are in with Game Time tonight. He's debuting. But you got to check out Big Q from Team Boy TV Live. You can check out Team Boy TV Live at 8:05 on Wednesday nights, and he also has the Black and Blue podcast Wednesdays at 11, and that's right up the Panthers' alleys. Big Q be representing against Denver, the Denver Talk, 2 Cent Deposit, and the Ravens fan. So Panther fans, check out Big Team Boy TV Live or TeamBoyTV.com and those shows. He puts out so much. So. Joe, also, we're getting Frankie V tonight from U Stadium, our boy, chicken cutlets. That's what we have for dinner tonight. We have a big week coming up, and before we talk about the Bucs, I think there's congratulations due tonight as well. Not only thanks, but congratulations. Joe, you want to go ahead and start it? Give the champ his belt?
Yeah. Congratulations to the voice, because he really does represent Carolina Panthers. He has a passion that sometimes can be unbridled, and he lets it all hang out. But for us, he did a fantastic job of showing just how passionate he really is, and he kept it family friendly. That's what really impressed me the most, because those boys in the TTC?
Yes, sir. Yes,
in
sir.
the TTC, that is definitely for mature audiences only, because they're hardcore.
They get riled up. But
yeah.
what Joey is referring to is the voice is the champ of
The
the
champ.
C3 Fan Spotlight Contest, the first one ever,
Oh
and
man.
2 tickets to Detroit
Woo!
and dinner at Firebirds. You're gonna be
Woo!
having a good time. And
Hey,
Joey's got some good news for you, the boys. We're gonna be out there. We're gonna be tailgating, and we're bringing a keg.
Yes,
whoa.
sir.
Hey, you know I got to catch up with you guys too, and my boys from my hometown, they're gonna be up also. So
Nice.
I hope we're not too far from each other because
Yeah, you're gonna have to come out and just hang with us.
oh yeah, oh
You
you already know.
your, your Pete showed up for you. You pulled together almost 400 votes
Yeah,
in this
and I
contest.
and I ain't even dropped the bomb.
And that is with a poll. I had to switch polls in the middle of it. In the whole middle of the whole damn contest, I had to switch polls because the place was going to try to charge me, and I'm cheap. And then the next poll only lets you vote once, really, for the most part. Like, it was hard to vote multiple times. So that number is bigger than the number if you
That's
think about
awesome.
those restrictions and having
Right.
to. So awesome work, great video. We're glad to have you representing C3 for us.
Oh man, hey man, thanks man. You don't understand how excited I was, man, when I won. Cause really, I've been on that thing all week like it was a job. Like I was checking it out. I had my wife give me like a every 4-hour update where I'm at. Where I'm at, she was telling me because like I haven't missed a home opener since our existence, and that is real talk.
Nice. That's good
Yeah,
work. That's good work.
and I'm almost 40 now, so and really this year was kind of a strain because I had just moved from Richmond, and see when I do my video tomorrow, because I'm doing a video tomorrow about how excited I am about winning this contest for the super fan with C3 because it's kind of big to me, man. I got a little emotional that I was able to get that many votes to
Yeah.
look out. You know what I mean? Because I might not have been able to
Oh,
make it
dude, you
this year.
crushed it.
Oh man, it was just man,
Well,
it's awesome, man. It was
I
awesome,
know
man.
that you've moved recently, so I know that is always expensive, man. Whenever you got
Oh
to
man,
move, good Lord, it seems like you're just dropping money for days
I'm
or
telling you.
months. But so this is cool, man. I hope my question to you on this is, who are you taking, and are you taking your wife to dinner and then taking somebody else to the game?
Hey, look here. My wife, she already Firebirds ain't, but like they got two of them in Charlotte. They got one that's right up here in the like near Providence area, because I stay in the
Right.
Providence area of Charlotte,
Okay.
and that's the one that my wife wants to go to. It's nice, man. It's a real nice area. That's out there by like Quail Hollow and
Oh, the golf course?
yeah, that's where
Yeah.
that's where
Yeah.
it's at. It's a nice restaurant, very nice restaurant. And really, because I'm gonna have that whole weekend, because Saturday of the game, I'm not coming home. We're gonna be with the boys. We're gonna do Uptown Charlotte. We're gonna enjoy
Yeah.
ourselves. We're gonna get us a room, and then we're gonna just go straight over to the game. So I'm going to give the gift card to my wife and my mother-in-law.
Oh, wow.
But the tickets
Well
is gonna
played,
be
sir.
me.
Well played.
Y'all understand what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah.
And then the tickets is gonna be me and my cousin. He started going to the games with me like in '05, and I'm the one that hooked him to it, and he's half crazy about it now. So man, he was sharing my videos like I'll get out, and I said, man, you worked just as hard as I did. So come on, we're gonna enjoy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just so you know, we actually are considering coming up that Saturday night before the game.
Well, if you guys come up, I'm telling you, we already got the rooms we'll talk about that off air. But
All
we already
right.
got the room and where we're gonna be at and stuff. So I'll let you guys know where we're gonna be at. We can definitely go to the Epic Center and see
Oh,
Charlotte.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's right. We're gonna be at the Epicenter too that weekend, hanging out both on Saturday and Sunday probably. The question I got, well, actually, one more plug for Abby Lewis. Yeah, one time I was watching one of your videos, Voice, and you referred to somebody that I like a lot on Twitter. Her name is Ocean Blows or something crazy. It's Ocean
Ocean Blues.
BLA.
Ocean Blues.
Yeah, and it's spelled a little funny with the blue, but she represents the Panthers hard. And
Hard.
you called her the first lady one time.
Yeah.
And if she's the first lady, then Abby Lewis is like the Secretary of State.
And you know what?
She
And you know what?
is hardcore.
And you know the thing about it is, and that's why I like by doing this contest, I started learning about other people's fandoms and how they go about it. And Abby Lewis, man, I go on Twitter, I check my Twitter a lot, and she be going hard for the Panthers, man.
Mm-hmm.
She goes so hard
Yeah.
for my Cats, man. I was like, dang. I'm like, man, I be up here trash talking these guys, getting them off of us, jumping in. If there's disputes going out, jumping in, get that run in my mouth, and I'm just like, man, she goes hard.
Yeah,
I
I'm
love
telling
that.
you, this is
I
like
love
a
that,
Twitter
man. That's why
machine.
in my video, yeah, she is a Twitter machine. Cause I ain't that quick typing and all this and that. I'm kind of older. But my video tomorrow, she gonna get much props on my video tomorrow, and this is gonna be epic. Believe that.
Right on. Well, look, we're gonna put that in the comment section as well and feature all of that. Let's jump into the Bucs, guys, because we got about 9 minutes to talk about the Bucs before we've been celebrating. Joe, I'm gonna ask you first. Gerald McCoy and company. How's our offensive line gonna fare against that?
I am concerned a little bit just because that's a stout defense, and I don't think we faced that stout of a defense at all in the preseason. So I think they're even more stout than the Patriots, and you saw how we looked against the Patriots. So that
Yeah.
does concern me. Yes, I am worried about Gerald McCoy. He's a beast in the middle. You know, I'm the biggest Levante David fan in all of Panther Nation.
I know.
And then they got Mark Barron, I believe is his name, Mark Barron back there on the back end, who's a big time hitter. So yeah, there's definitely some concern.
Boys, what do you think about our offensive line going up against a tough defense with now a defensive-minded coach?
My boy concerns are a little different than mine. My concern is our left tackle. And people are like, well, what about Nate Chandler? I'm not really concerned about Nate Chandler. I'm more about Byron Bell. I'm not concerned about like Jerry McCoy like that because we can help on Jerry McCoy with Ryan Khalil and whomever. I don't know if Velasco will start. I don't know who they're going to, or Trey, because I know Trey, he been injured and with a groin, so I don't know if he going to end up playing or are they going to just share the roles. I'm not really concerned about up front pressure, but I am a little concerned about Byron Bell. I don't know, because now the bullets are going to fly. Because one thing about the offensive line, and a lot of people don't understand, it ain't like defensive fronts where you rotating players in and out. And with the offensive line, they in there. That's why they make a lot of money, but they in there and they stay in there. You know what I'm saying? And they get tired too.
Yeah.
So that's my main concern, fellas.
I think that's a good point. In fact, one of our writers this week, our lead writer Ken Dye, wrote Byron Bell is a liability.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, I think Byron Bell, I compare him, he's the Tony Romo of offensive linemen, and that is he plays better than he should. Like, he plays better than anybody could really expect for an undrafted free agent, I think. You know what I'm saying? I think he plays well, but that's still not good enough a lot of times. And, you know, I mean, so you're almost asking him to do an impossible task. I think Melvin White on the defense is a lot like that, is that you ask him to do so much for a guy that really probably shouldn't be in that role in the first place. I think that's a good point. You know, I'm a little worried about this, but if Jonathan Stewart's in there and he can pick up blocks a little bit better, my question is, and that goes to the next question with this, is with Cam Newton, with a fractured rib, I know it's not that bad probably now. I mean, he was in a little pain a couple weeks ago. Obviously, he's going to play through it. He's still coming off the ankle. Voice, what can we do to help Cam in his debut against a defense like this to lessen? Are we going to have to lessen him in the run? Are we going to have to change anything, or is that just as dangerous? Should we just say, Cam, just go out there and play 100% because playing 90 gets you hurt more than anything?
You know, I think that we need to be deceptive. And when I say about deceptive, hell, the read option, even if he's just giving it every time, just show it. You understand what I'm saying? Because they got to respect the gangster.
Right.
And I do believe that Carolina going to be doing, when his ribs heal up well, I do believe that they're going to run a lot more read option with that double tight end set. So, but like you said, you hit it on the nail. And damn, like you read my mind, in my videos is to come, I said Jonathan Stewart going to be like a key factor on a lot of our wins this season, man. And if he can just stay healthy, he can account for at least 3 wins by himself just because of threat and the way he can break tackles and he can get through. Like if the line don't hold up, he's not falling back for a yard. He's not falling back for 3. He'll at least get back to the line of scrimmage. Unlike D'Angelo, you know, I know I'm a little long with it. You know, D'Angelo, I love him to death. I always love D'Angelo. But D'Angelo then got to the point where an arm tackle would take him down. And all Panther fans know that. He is at that.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I'm sorry.
I'm with you now. I'm with you with D'Angelo Williams. It's harder to find a bigger fan of D'Angelo Williams than I've been because I saw him play a lot in college. He ate up my college team. He's such a good person and things.
I know, man.
But you know, I hate to bring this up, and I think this might be going beyond the bounds of what I probably should be saying when it comes to him. But he's acted different this season. He has not been the same D'Angelo Williams when it comes to interacting with the fans, when it comes to doing interviews and talking. He's been very introverted, and I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. I saw him at camp. I mean, it's not like he's rude or anything. I mean, but I feel like he might be exhausted. Exhausted because he's 31 and he's a running back. His mother just passed away after all of that. I think he's emotionally drained by all of this, and maybe that's me being over psychologist, but I want him to be good. I mean, he can bust those long runs. I think Panther fans gave up on him too early, but this year might be that year where it's just kind of time, you know, I mean, where it's just getting on the back end, and he needs to play a different role, and he's just getting paid too much. Joey, what do you think about all that? What do we do with Cam? Is D'Angelo Williams not helping that at all?
I think the best thing we can do to protect Cam and help Cam is to run the ball and to run effectively. You know, I said that from the beginning.
Well, effectively is the word.
Right. To run the ball effectively is going to be the best thing we can do, the best chance we have of turning this into another winning season. D'Angelo Williams, you know, he didn't really impress in the preseason. He had some big moments last year, but overall, if you look at the body of work as the entire season, nothing special.
Better than Jonathan Stewart.
Yes, because he didn't play. But if you have a healthy,
that's a big part of it.
If you have a healthy Jonathan Stewart, you have to give him the ball. I mean, he's just that much more dynamic than D'Angelo Williams. And he gives your offense, you know, he brings a lot to the offense. The strength, the pass blocking, receiving.
It makes a lot of sense what you're saying. Run the ball, it helps the pass game. But that's what we've always said. And if you're not running the ball, it doesn't help. If you're running the ball on first down and you're getting 1 yard, it hurts more than it helps. Can we get it done with a D'Angelo Williams in the backfield with this type of offensive line, Joey? I mean, I feel like saying just run the ball, and not that saying you're just saying just run the ball, but like we haven't been able to run the ball at all in the preseason. Is all of a sudden we're going to just turn on the light and figure it out?
Well, I think that comes down to, like we've been saying, D'Angelo Williams or Jonathan Stewart. When we saw Jonathan Stewart play and run the ball, it was a different offense. He was able to get yards despite whatever the blocking situation was. And when the blocks were all picked up, he really had a good run. You saw the speed, you saw the explosiveness, his strength, because you're not bringing him down with an arm tackle. You're not bringing him down.
He's the only. I think Fozzie Whitaker looked better than all of them almost. I hate to say that. Not than maybe Jonathan Stewart, but I didn't feel that Tolbert even looked that good. Voice, are you going? Can we figure it out? The run.
Well, Fozzie, I like Fozzie. Now, to me, because if y'all want to sit and think about it, and all Panther fans watching this podcast, check this out. You remember Ron Rivera said our dress rehearsal was against the Kansas City Chiefs. It wasn't against the New England Patriots. And people been harping on that Patriot game. I ain't paid much attention for it. And I pay no attention to it. We ran the ball well against the Chiefs. Fozzie Whitaker ran the ball good too against the Chiefs. He stick it in there. But did you see how good Jonathan Stewart looked? I said
that's the game, Joey.
I do not want him to. I said I don't want to play no more preseason, and I'm glad he didn't. I want him to be ready for the regular season. You know what I mean? That's why we're gonna be fine, man. The health of Jonathan Stewart is huge, and he's been hearing a lot of backlash because I even gave up on him, man. The boys, I pretty much after last year, and we were 12-4, and we was on that run, and he tried to come back. You remember he got hurt against the Saints?
Yeah.
I do it out the dome, and I was like, man, Stu, please, man. It's just like he snake bit or something, man. So we got.
That's exactly it. That's exactly it. Is that look? I ain't got no ill will for the man. It's just like to the point of is that if he ain't ever playing, it's hard to be like he's an answer. And
exactly.
So I get that. I get that feeling. But if he is healthy, he's a great running back. That's why he got the money because he was healthy enough to put up them yards in that hour. I mean, in that season or that 2 seasons. And you know what? He was snake bit even during that period. My man walked into the Panthers with a foot problem. You know, he ain't ever been 100%. So when he says he's 100%, that's like 90 of everybody else in the world probably, or 80. Last question, and then we got to go on to segment 2. I got some more plugs to do. Let you guys shine on this one. Our secondary, how can they fare against the giants that are the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? Those receivers, Joey, we talked to CW last week. They're all 6'6". What do you think, Joey? How does our secondary, are they going to be able to handle that?
If we don't get any pass rush, we're going to get smoked.
Yeah.
It's that simple. If we don't get a pass rush, we're going to lose the game. That's the key. We can't ask more than what our secondary is capable of. And they can do a short-term coverage on some guys while the quarterback is feeling some heat. But if they're asked to keep coverage on extended plays, it's just not going to happen.
Agreed. If we don't just sack him every play, it's going to be a problem. And I mean, when I say every play, I mean basically if he has any time to go through any progressions, it's going to be tough because all he's got to do is throw it to the guy that's got the least dudes around him and throw it kind of high.
Right.
Voice, what are we going to see in this game? Secondary, is that a mountain that we can surpass?
Yes, we'll be fine. I'm gonna give you my logic after following the league for all these years, man. Like in the National Football League right now, there is only maybe 3 or maybe 4 teams max that's got a secondary that can hold up for like 5 or 6 seconds. And the one just won the Super Bowl. And then you can name a couple of secondaries that are good. Hell, even the Giants, they got a real good secondary, but the Giants, and they ain't been doing much of nothing. But I think with the secondary we have, I think our secondary is better this year than it was last year. And a lot of people sit there and be like, well, how would you say that? Because I haven't seen it in regular season when the bullets was flying. Because last year people failed to realize, like, with Mike Mitchell got burnt plenty times last year. Even as a Panther fan.
He did.
Do y'all remember the Miami game? And it ain't just Miami. It was
Yes.
That was a loss right there for us.
Should have been.
Oh boy, it should have been. If oh boy wouldn't drop the ball.
Yeah.
Hit his hands. You a pro. He hit his hands. And what was that free agent? Mike Wallace. He drops the ball. We had a and then he got
I
turned
would say
around.
Mitchell kind of got there at the last second. He kind of got there at the last second, but that was the last play, and you were 100% right. The voice is my man. There was only one play that was coming at that moment in that game.
A bomb.
A bomb.
A Hail Mary.
To him. To not to anybody else. To the fastest damn dude on the team. And the one guy you cover, we got smoked by him.
You turned him around. It turned him around. And I like his run ability, like stopping the run and stuff. And that's what like Harper is. Like I compare that to Harper, but Harper got more experience. But they cool. To keep it real, I like they cool better than what's that little dude who used to play with the Rams and he didn't even get picked up.
Florence Drayton Florence.
No, I'm talking about in the safety position. Come on now, y'all.
Not Lester. Not
Lester.
Oh no, the old dude.
Micah.
Oh, Quentin Michael.
Quentin
Michael. Yeah,
and now,
look like a nickel or something.
Exactly. Now, who gonna say that Quentin Michael, Nickel, whatever they want to call him, is better?
That's right.
Cool. So everybody that's sitting here running around, running their mouth, talking about our secondary is trash and all this and that. Our secondary is average. I'm not saying we got the Seattle Seahawks secondary. I'm not saying that, but I like our secondary better than last year. With their front seven. The front always make the back. We'll be just fine.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think we're better than last year. Is that, Roman Harper, question mark, because he hasn't played at all. He's always given up big plays when he's asked to do pass coverage. We won't ask him to do that. But is he going to be around? That's the question. Is my man going to be on the field is a good question. And I think we're going to ask Deku what he's probably better at naturally. But here's the problem with all of that, and I hate to be the Debbie Downer, is that it's not about us being better or worse. The other teams in the division got a lot better. And that's the problem, is that we're going to have to step it up. And if that pass rush just ain't monster, basically, we're going to have the same problem we had last year, and that is, whenever the pass rush doesn't work, guys, we were all holding our breath like, oh, shit, what's about to happen? It could all of a sudden go wrong. Because the pass rush lets Kuechly and Thomas Davis do what they do best, and that is just free roam, pick the guy, laser in on dudes early. But if they have to try to be like making up for deficiencies in the secondary by playing a little back, a little hesitant on their heels some, it's going to be a problem. So that's basically the preview for the Bucs. How about this? Voice, why don't you give us a couple of plugs and tell us what you're working on and get to the C3 fans and tell them how to get after you.
Okay, yeah. I've been holding off on my hate weeks and stuff with the Tampa Bay Buck vid makers and stuff, and they waiting and they wonder if I'm going to come and do something, but I am. But I just wanted to get this side of everything from my Panther Nation. Panther Nation comes before everything. It's for everybody to know. But hey, I'm the voice on YouTube. You can follow me at the voice 2525 on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @VCrisp, CRISP 25. And just follow me on Twitter, and then I'll tweet out my videos and stuff. But I'm gonna be doing a video tomorrow, a family friendly video tomorrow.
I want the one that I wanted to see the video before the cuts, because I'm kind of the guy that's just like this. I like it like that. I like that, my man. My favorite part about all of this, Voice, is that sometimes your ass got to do the damn videos in the car. And I always think about this. One time I saw a dude walk by in the background, and I was like, that guy must be a little nervous walking by the Voice. Just in his car drinking a beer, not on. It ain't on, so my man don't got to worry about nothing.
Yeah,
but you see this dude, that angry woof up in the car. I would be like, shit, what was that?
What's wrong with this crazy man? Yeah.
So send me the adult version. Send Joey the family.
Well, I'm gonna do. I gotta do two. I'm gonna do the Cat Chronicle one. If y'all can, all the people, ears can be. It's friendly for that to keep it going. But then, like the Hate Week is coming after that. I'm definitely gonna send you that one, and that's gonna be raw and uncut because I got that Bucs brief. They co-host. He about to get smacked silly. You hear me? He was talking crazy as all crazy. I don't understand why they pound. I'm talking. They pounding their chest like their defense is the Carolina Panthers defense. Keeping it real, man. I'm like, dang, y'all like y'all was the number 2 defense last year. What? Okay, so I'm gonna take care of that tomorrow.
All right. So here, do me one favor. Give us a wolf for the road.
And you know what? The last call for alcohol. I'm the voice. I'm signing off on that note. And I'm the voice. And I'm out. Wolf.
Word. Thanks a lot for coming on the show. All right. I'm going to invite Frankie V. Joe, you're going to carry the conversation while I do this. Tell us what.
He is so passionate. He is such a big Panther fan. He loves Carolina, and that just fires me up. It really does. We are CarolinaCatChronicles.com. We are the voice of Panther Nation, and we actually just had the voice of Panther Nation.
I know. And now we get to welcome our buddy Frankie V from U Stadium, Jets fan, Jets writer extraordinaire. By the way, while he's popping in right here, Joey, I have to say this is U Stadium is running a fantastic contest right now called The Moment. And if you go and download their app, or you can go to ustadium.com/The Moment and enter your video, which I did. Hey, there he is, Frankie V. I'm just introducing U Stadium contest. And while I'm doing that, tell us, Frankie, about yourself and U Stadium and what you're working on these days.
All right. Well, first off, I want to thank you guys for allowing me on your show. You guys are always cool as hell. I remember you guys from last time I came on. We talked about Jericho Cotchery coming to town. So
yeah.
Yeah, that was good times. Yeah, basically I started sports blogging in 2011. I started a blog called Flopping Out. Basically, we wanted to give you fast, funny sports news. So we tried to give it to you fast. So once it came out, we sort of relayed it from outlets that we had, that we were in touch with, and then we would do it in a funny way just to connect with people. Then we ended up saying, hey, let's give sports fans their own channels. A lot of fans wanted to find their ways into doing radio or blogging or creating some sort of identity like you guys have done with this show, but they wanted to do it, but they didn't have the, I don't know if it was the time or the dedication. They wanted to do something a little fast, make something quick and fast. So we came out with U Stadium. U Stadium was a way for them to sort of do that. Come out with sort of an identity in a quick way. It's like a Tumblr for football fans. It's fast, it's quick. We do contests too. We have a cool contest coming up soon. Basically, pick a quarterback, running back, and a wide receiver. Whoever has the most fantasy points at the end of the week wins $100. We have one now who's going to have the most fantasy points at the end of week 1. It's free, gets $25. The Moment, which you were on, and that was pretty hilarious.
Joey, I got to tell you about my entry to The Moment. The Moment, by the way, this contest, guys, I don't have iPhone, so I want to know when the Android app is coming. I hope it is, because I fight the man, the evil empire that is Apple, and they won this week against me in the comments on our website. But, Joe, I answered this contest. You have to say that moment. You get to pick the moment, whatever, good, bad, ugly, awesome, great, that really kind of defines you as the fan. And I picked 2003 Panthers on the way to the Super Bowl. You would say, oh, he's going to pick something late. He's going to pick the double overtime victory. Nope, none of that. It was the 12-9 victory over Tampa. Look, there I am.
started their run to the Super Bowl where we ultimately lost to the Patriots. What happened in this game? Why was it open-handed beatdown? And why is it that moment that I remember? It's because we won this game without scoring a touchdown. We kicked 4 field goals to win 12-9. But hey, that happens on a defensive team. What was really the thing?
All right, that's a little teaser. You can see the rest of it on you saying.
Yeah.
Nice.
Then he busted out the Julius Peppers jersey. Respect. I love Julius Peppers. So.
And I gave a nod to Chris Jenkins, who was a Jets guy later on the Jets. So this was fun. Tell them where they can go enter and what they would win, Frankie, by entering the moment, and why when the Android app is coming.
All right, cool. So you can enter the moment by going to the U Stadium app. Just go on your app store, click U Stadium. You can go in there, and then it's under contest. So we have contest, activity, and live. Go to contest, enter the moment you most remember as a fan. Winner chosen by us. And Anthony, I'm not sure if you're in the finals yet. We have an event on Thursday night. We're going to have 2 people that are in the finals. We have to finish off our vote. They're going to be voted on, and you'll get 2 free tickets to any game this season. So whatever game you want to go to, not non-playoff, obviously. So
regular season. That's an awesome contest. That is an awesome contest. You should buy them through our link through Ticketmonster, and we'll get a kickback.
Down. Send us a link. Seriously.
Yeah. Okay. So I have, by the way, if you're watching the YouTube broadcast or if you're catching up on YouTube afterwards, you can check the Get Involved with the Show button. Looks like a little yellow button with a hangout. It says join in the conversation. That's what it says. And if you pull up that link right there, what it has on the right sidebar of the YouTube channel are links to all of this. Links to the moment, links to stories that we've had up on the website. And one specifically that is up there in this is a story related to Stephen Hill, former Jet. And this is one of the reasons Frankie's on the show tonight, is to tell us the skinny. Give us the skinny, Frankie, on Stephen Hill and who we signed to the practice squad.
Well, you just said it. He's very skinny. He's too skinny. Sort of. All right. Out of college, I loved Stephen Hill when the Jets drafted him. We did a the day before the draft or the day of the draft, we did a mock draft where we picked where Stephen Hill should go by. We picked that year's draft class. Where they should go, where they should get drafted. And I remember I had the 17th pick with the Patriots, and I picked Stephen Hill, like first round, the day before the draft. So I was big on Stephen Hill when he was at Georgia Tech. I loved him. I watched his film. I scouted him. He got big. I mean, I loved him as a talent. When he played with the Jets, I don't really know exactly what happened. Our wide receivers coach has taken a lot of criticisms over the years, Sanjay Lal. He came from the Oakland Raiders. A lot of Jet fans don't like him, and I hear a lot of people in the organization don't like him. The Jet scouts, too, aren't the best at putting together any sort of, camaraderie on the offensive side of the ball. Stephen Hill's never had a tight end that stretched the field or has done anything on the field to even help him out a little bit. Stephen Hill, he's gotten very nervous, though. Like, he's not confident as a football player. He's lost a lot of confidence. He's very nervous out there. He's jittery. But the first game I remember in 2011 or 2012, the first game of the season against the Bills, he went off. He had 150-something yards, 2 touchdowns. I think I was there at the game. He looked awesome. Like, that's Stephen Hill. I mean, I think it's a great sign for you guys. I think you guys sign him to the practice squad's it's a steal. I mean, he should have been claimed by a team, I think. And I think with your guys' receivers, I think he can do well if he can get some confidence out there. He's really fast, right? And he's got a lot of speed, and he's lengthy, and he's got a lot of vertical leap. But what he lacks is just that confidence when the ball's gonna hit your hands. Just saying, I don't care what's going on, I'm just gonna take it. What you guys had in Steve Smith for so long, that just confident, I don't give a shit, I'm just going to get the ball attitude. If he gets that, Stephen Hill could be a top, 20 receiver in the NFL.
You know, Frankie, I'm listening to what you were saying about him, and it sounds like what you were lacking there with the Jets, or what he was lacking there with the Jets, he's going to get a lot of in Carolina. He's going to have that tight end, really two tight ends now, that are going to be able to stretch the field, that are going to be able to be another concern for the secondary or the defense in general. He's got a great wide receivers coach in Ricky Prohl. Tony and I have tremendous respect for Poe as a coach. His ability to relate to these young men, his ability to bring out the best in the players. I think you're right. I think it's a fantastic signing because, like I said, we have some of those pieces that he was missing in New York.
I want to know this, Frankie, when it comes to any guy that has speed. And I just watched one highlight film of him this week, and he reminds me, and I don't know if he's the same type of guy that Ted Ginn Jr. was, but a fast guy that isn't the best hands catcher. You know, he seems to catch with his body a lot.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing is this, and the problem with Ted Ginn, who was this, he was super fast, and he was a body catcher, not a ball snatcher, and he had trouble getting off the line. That was the thing for Ted Ginn, is that your speed can be negated if a dude can just muscle you up. So does Stephen Hill do better at that? Is he able to get off the line, or is that where he gets hung up, or is it all just the catching part?
Well, honestly, that analysis was awesome because I couldn't have really explained it any better than what you guys both just said. I mean, basically, on both ends, I think, the first point, I think, Ricky Prohl and those guys are going to be great for him. I remember he was always a really good player, just from X's and O's. And Anthony, you're so right. Like, that's a problem with Stephen Hill. He's like a Ted Ginn. He uses his body. The only difference, I think, and the only reason why I still have faith in Stephen Hill, the only reason, and I liked Ted Ginn, so maybe I'm like a prisoner of those style of players. Like, I like him. I don't know why. Like, I think he still deserved the shot. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, but I also drafted Mike Wallace 4th round in my fantasy draft. I'm an idiot.
So did I.
Did you really?
I did too. Yeah.
4th round?
Yeah. I think it was either 4th or 5th.
Oh, okay. I think he's gonna have a good year, but regardless, like, those guys, like, the difference between, I think, Stephen Hill and Ted Ginn is Stephen Hill is how tall was Ted Ginn now? 6'2", I think. Was he 6'1"?
Yeah, 6 foot, 6'1", somewhere in that area, I think.
Yeah. He's not big. Just a speedster.
Yeah, Stephen Hill's got more length. He's 6'4", so, like, with his long arm, I think he has, like, the arm length.
33 and 3/8 inch.
Oh, 6'3" and 3/8?
33 and 3/8, yeah. That's a pretty long arm.
Yeah. He's lengthy. So if they could teach him how to get leverage on a corner so he doesn't get hung up. I mean, Ted Ginn may not be able to use his body because he doesn't have that length, that leverage. But if Stephen Hill can learn how to use his long arms to get the hell off these corners, then yeah, he can. That's the only way he'll get better. But I think it comes down to, or be better than Ted Ginn. But it's going to come down to, is he going to be tough enough to do that? That's what it's going to come down to. Because these corners are tough in the NFL. Even the guys that are small, I mean, they're dogs out there. They don't care, man. They play hard and fast and they're feisty. So if you're not going to,
that's the only place they can. That is the only place they can make a difference, other than running beside you and trying to make a phenomenal play. A play that's really, it's hard to ask anybody to make. And so what they have to do is they got to get nasty right in that first yard. And so if you got a problem with that mentally, you almost got to have that nastiness of an offensive lineman for that 1 yard as a wide receiver. And then after that, you can be your diva self down the field. That's the key. And so I'm interested, and I think you're right. I think his size is better than Ted Ginn. Ted Ginn was great if he was just a kick returner, but he is just a sucky receiver. But he did get paid by Arizona, and he might be cut, from what I've heard. Who knows? What do you think? Is he going to? Will we see him on the Panthers field this year, Frankie?
I don't think so. Sorry.
Oh wow, dang.
I know I came on the show to say that, right? No, I don't think so, but I do think that I do think he has a future potentially in Carolina for whatever that's worth. There was one play Stephen Hill had a couple years ago when Tebow was playing that really, and Tebow actually did well with Stephen Hill in the preseason. If you go back to some Jet games preseason with Tebow, I was a big Tebow fan, so I watched a lot of it. Stephen Hill did very well with Tebow for a couple games. But there was one play I remember with Stephen Hill that said to me, he's got to get out of town. He's just done. It was a post, and it was the middle of the field was wide open. Instead of taking the post and taking it deep and having a completely open field for a potential touchdown or a 50-yard gain, he hung on the corner and almost didn't want to be open. He didn't want the ball thrown to him. He didn't want the ball in the air, all the pressure of the world's on him to catch this thing. He almost shadowed himself out of it. Now, if you've ever played football before, and I'm talking about flag football, whatever football, I remember I played flag football one day. I went out the night before. All right, I went out. It was early in the morning. I woke up and I was not confident in playing wide receiver that day. Not that I'm a wide receiver. I played line, but someone wasn't there, so I played wide receiver. I remember I was trying my hardest almost when I was running routes not to be open. I wanted to be open, but I didn't because I was nervous about someone throwing me the ball.
Looking like you were working hard, but hoping it wasn't hard enough.
Exactly. And that's what Stephen Hill's become. If he snaps out of that, though, guys, if he could snap out of that, and I think he can, he'll do great things, I do. And his agents that he has around him, I've spoken to one. The one just came out with a statement recently. So one agent recently came out and bashed, I guess, the Jets, saying they didn't do enough for him. I don't know the exact specifics. He's probably right, but regardless, saying that's not smart because other teams are looking at that. Plus, I tried to get him on our show, Flight 5, a while ago, and oh, Stephen Hill's too busy. Stephen Hill's too busy. He's too busy. He doesn't want to do this. I don't know. It's his guys were always oh, we're all too busy. It's too busy. Your guy's not even playing well. I don't know. It's just something about him I never liked from a PR standpoint. But what do I know about that? That's it's a little deep, but still
Maybe it goes to because what you're suggesting is what has plagued so many good players or guys that could potentially good players in the NFL and in any sport is the psychological aspect of the game. And once you're broken mentally, it doesn't matter how fast you are, how great your measurables are, is that you're your worst enemy. I call it the David Carr syndrome. Is that David Carr was an awesome quarterback. He was great in college. He was pretty damn good in Houston for his 2 years, good enough. But he got sacked 77 times that year, and he just became mentally broken. And you see this with pitchers in baseball. So maybe do you think, Frankie, that the New York football culture, the limelight of the city, in comparison to a small market team like the Panthers, do you think you guys have something to, not you as in the fans, but maybe did that have something to do with it? Was that too much? Was the hype around his measurables, the hype around him, in the need for somebody in New York to be good, was that what hurt him?
I think that's an awesome point too. I do. I think I always said this about college football players, and I think I can make a parallel to professional here in New York. So I always said this in college. You can't want to party, do well in school, and be a great football player at the same time. You have to pick at least two, and you should only pick one. If you're doing all three, good luck. You need to be an incredibly talented player to be able to, to be able to be a great player, to be able to party a lot, and to be able to get great grades. Good luck. I don't think I did one of those. Actually, I partied a lot. That was it. I wasn't a good football player, and I wasn't a good student. And at a point, I stopped partying, and I tried to backtrack, and it didn't work because you kind of set a bad foundation. In New York, it's the same way. If you come into New York and you want to live the New York life, and you want to have all these endorsement deals, and you want to be a great player, it's a lot of pressure on your shoulders. Look at Sanchez. Sanchez wanted to do GQ and all this stuff. Sanchez wanted to go out and drink and party and, you know, do that whole thing. And then he also wanted to be a great New York quarterback. It's going to take a toll on you. It's very, very hard. New York playing here for the Jets, it's like playing in college again. It's like it's where your priorities set. I think in Carolina, for example, you're able to get away with, you know, you can go out once in a while. You're going to have your endorsements, but at least when you're going to do a commercial shoot, you're getting out of Carolina. You're out of there. You're almost doing it, and then you're coming back. New York, you're doing your commercials in New York. You're leaving. There's paparazzi everywhere. You have cabs everywhere. Then you have bars and women, and like it's just a nonstop situation. Your head's not in it. And Stephen Hill wasn't put in that situation, I don't think, that early, but like his mind mentally wasn't just on, let me just see how great I could be as a football player. He was worried about too many other things, and the Jets have done that to a lot of players. Yeah, they have. They've plagued a ton of players. I mean, you know, Sanchez is one. Who else? I mean, Pennington, at the end of Pennington's career, he couldn't deal with New York anymore. He went to freaking Miami.
Santonio Holmes, I feel like. I don't know how he was individually, but he never could handle that spotlight.
Yeah.
From the outside looking in, you know, is that you're right, is there's so many factors that you're juggling. You're juggling. And at some point you're going to drop the ball. And Joey, let me ask you this, Joey, because you've lived in Charlotte. Were you a jock? Were you a nerd? Or were you a party man, or were you the cool cat? Because that's what Frankie V is saying. You got three options. You can either be the jock and play football and make football the priority. You could be the nerd and make the grades and the study habits the priority. Or you can just be the cool guy. Can you be all three in Charlotte? Or will this be humble? Like, I mean, it seems like such a different atmosphere.
Oh, it is. I mean, it's hard to compare Charlotte and New York City. I've been in both places for considerable time. It's like apples and oranges. New York City is truly the city that never sleeps because there's always something to do. There's always something going on. Whereas Charlotte is, it feels like a big city, but it's really a small town attitude there. I was a partier, and that's my best memories of Charlotte are drinking the nights that I can remember, and then the other times I'm wondering, how the heck did I get home last night? You know, a lot of that. So that's definitely there if you want it. Look at Kerry Collins, Panthers #1 draft pick. Kerry Collins had a hard time handling success in Charlotte. He became a bit of an alcoholic, and then ironically enough, he goes to New York and takes him to a Super Bowl.
I think we'll be friendlier. Here's the thing: is that I think with Stephen Hill specifically, when he comes to Charlotte, what he'll find is different. Is that we like to be understanding with Panther players. We like to talk about like, oh, if you get him with Ricky Pro and this, it's going to work out. If we like to think that like, oh, is that we're gonna the sports announcer guys, they'll be like, hey, I'm trashing you, but I want to remind you that I'm your friend too, and I really don't want to trash you. So like, it's so nice. I think that this is the place if you want to rehabilitate. It's the place to come, and that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to rehabilitate. He's got to get his swag back, and that's what it comes down to, is that if you don't believe you can succeed in the NFL, all of us don't believe it in the first place. So if you don't believe it, why should we? And that's what it's going to do. This is why I think, though, I'm going to give you guys my skinny on why I think this is a good move. It's because of this, is that the way and you mentioned fantasy football earlier, so I'm going to make my parallel, and hopefully this will work out. I compare Stephen Hill to like a 10th round draft pick in a fantasy football league. Why take a guy that you know is going to be pretty good, like a serviceable number 3, 4 wide receiver on any team? He's the guy that comes to work hard. He runs his routes like he's supposed to. But at the end of the day, you know he's going to be a 4-catch and 34-yard guy a week. And that's all he's going to be. With Stephen Hill, to me, he has a low floor. He could be terrible and be a bust. But if somehow he pulled it together maybe the ceiling is high enough to where with that 10th round wide receiver in a fantasy football league, I'm never going to put you in my starting lineup if you're a 4-guy, 34 catch. You're just going to always sit on my bench. And I'm going to be like, oh, this was a safe pick. This was my safe pick in the 10th round. Stephen Hill is the swing for the fence. If it doesn't work, who gives a crap? If it does work, maybe he gets 125 yards in a game.
That's true.
I mean, I couldn't agree with that more. I think that is totally the case. The Panthers are taking the flyer here. They say we got Kelvin Benjamin, we got some solid receivers around him. This guy could be a tremendous complement to Kelvin Benjamin if he gets that confidence back, like you were talking about, Frankie. If he can feel if he can get that desire to go get that, cut to the post and catch that ball and take it to the house. If he gets that desire, watch out, man. Watch out.
Last question for you, Frankie, and then we'll let you get back to your evening. And my question is this: I feel that Stephen Hill, we know that he's kind of weak as a receiver, but his measurables are good and they're strong. He's tall, like you said, he's long and he's fast. So why I think we brought him in is in case we get an injury. If we get an injury, there's no good putting in a guy that works real hard but is still an undrafted free agent. Maybe the guy that has the physique to go in there for one game and open it up for you, he might be able to plug and play for 2 or 3 games a little bit better than a practice squad guy would do. What do you think about that? Is he a guy that we might be able to count on if we get an injury for, say, 3 games to contribute?
I would say towards the end of the season, yeah. I don't think from let's say week 1 to week.
Right. Yeah. Well, I hope not.
Yeah, and you don't want that. But at the end of the season, I do. I think he's gonna need to play a couple games, real NFL games, just to get that pressure off his chest a little bit. And once he does, get into the flow of things, I think he can. I think he can contribute. I did say before I don't think he's going to play this year just because I don't. With practice squad guys, sometimes they stay on the practice squad for the whole year, and sometimes they move. So who the hell knows? But I do think though what's interesting in this whole thing is the fit that Cam Newton has with Stephen Hill is perfect. Perfect. You couldn't get a more perfect fit for 2 reasons. One, the style of thrower that Cam is. He likes to bomb it out. He's got a strong arm. Maybe not the most accurate guy sometimes. When he gets in his rhythm, he is very accurate. But he's good because he's going to throw it at Stephen Hill and say to him, guy, get this damn ball. It's coming towards you. Like a rifle's coming at you.
Yes.
He can't
he'll
hide
shoot
from
a missile at you.
Yeah, like with Sanchez, you could lower. Yeah, Sanchez, you could lower your head and you're still waiting for it. Cam Newton is in the face. You better put your hands up, or it's gonna knock you out.
As it's coming, you're getting more nervous with Sanchez because you have 8 seconds to think about it. With Cam Newton, you have no time to be nervous because he might knock your ass out with it.
Exactly. Yep. Yeah. No thinking with Cam Newton. You just gotta react. And the other thing is,
that's a great point. That's a good point.
And the other thing is, what kind of style did he play with at Georgia Tech? They would fake options, and then they would throw the ball. He only had 29 receptions. They did a lot of fake runs or bootlegs, and they would throw him the ball. Who's better than Cam Newton at doing that? If they can implement some sort of, Cam Newton does a lot of the option read throws. I mean, that's perfect for Stephen Hill because that's what he did at Georgia Tech. So that'll build some comfort. That'll build a comfortability factor for him that, it's perfect. Cam Newton's perfect for Stephen Hill,
I like that. That's a good note to close the show on, Joe. Frankie, tell Panther fans how they can follow you and what you want them to check out if they're going to check you out after the show.
Well, listen, we just want Panthers. We want more Panthers fans on U Stadium. We have a lot of Jet fans, Giant fans. We have Vikings fans, Bears fans, some Patriots fans, unfortunately. We're trying to delete their accounts. No, I'm just kidding. But, We have like Dolphin fans too. We don't have a lot of Panthers fans. I think we have a couple like that I see on a daily basis. Like we're trying to get more Panthers. I love the Panthers. I always did. I liked them when they had Jake Delhomme when they made the Super Bowl. I always liked their D line. So I like the Panthers a lot. I want more Panthers fans, and they're talking about Kelvin Benjamin. I love Greg Olsen. So I mean, I want he's gonna have a huge year, by the way, Greg Olsen. He's gonna be like top 5 tight end at the end of the season. I really think so.
Great.
Yeah, he had 800 and some yards last year. So, but yeah, we just want more.
I tell you one thing about Greg Olsen though is he will not be in top 5 when it comes to yards after the catch.
Yeah, I hear about that.
In the bottom 1 of that because he catches the ball and falls down.
Yeah, he's like
he catches the ball. He'll catch anything, but then he falls down, or he runs in slow motion.
Hey man, Jason Witten made a Hall of Fame career doing that. So
okay, tell me when can I jump on U Stadium because I don't have an iPhone. Is it gonna come or what?
Yeah, we're gonna come out with we were supposed to launch the Android in September. It got delayed. There's just technical difficulties programming Android. So we're gonna try to launch it by end of September, early October. We'll have that out. We'll also have something cool where you can chat live about games. So like it's like an AOL chat room for games. You can kind of just go back and forth with people. So that should come out when the Android comes out. So you'll have both of those coming out at the same time. So it'll be something cool to pick up on. You should be able to meet some Panthers fans there too. Yeah.
Nice.
We are going to bring CarolinaCatChronicles.com is going to come and represent on U Stadium.
Dude,
so we're going to bring the whole Panther Nation.
Dude,
and overtake.
Let's get it.
All right. So wait. Once it gets to Android, because that's all I roll on. I'm a Google guy all the way. Well, thanks for coming on the show. Joey, before Frankie V leaves, say a couple of things about what's coming up or what you want to say to everybody before we go.
All right, we've got the official Carolina Panthers fan club of Charleston meeting this Sunday, 4 o'clock, Southside Bar and Grill at Tanger Outlets. We've got some things going on with John Madden football. We've got a Madden tournament we're planning sometime in the next 4 to 6 weeks. We'll have more details on that. And we have a new show that we will be featuring sometime next week. So check Twitter and Facebook for that announcement. Frankie, thank you for coming on, man. You're always a pleasure to have on the show, and you're always welcome anytime.
Guys, you guys are always awesome, man. I always love coming on. You guys are cool.
Nice.
And you guys are awesome.
Nice. I got two last plugs. First, everybody check us out, CarolinaCatChronicles.com as usual, Tuesday nights, 10 o'clock. You can hook up the archive. You can check the archive if you can't make the live show on YouTube. Download it on iTunes or check it out on Stitcher. If you're on iTunes, search Cat Chronicles. It will come right on up. The other thing I want to plug is that we have started the Fanatic discussion thread every day. We're going to have an open fanatic discussion thread, so everybody jump in there. Tomorrow's topic, to let everybody go crazy, is Kelvin Benjamin or Mike Evans, who's going to have the better opening day. So check that out and follow us on Twitter at @cat_chronicles and go into the U Stadium contest and submit a vote that says, vote for Tony. Thanks, Frankie, and we're going to have you back on the show soon.
All right, definitely, man. Anytime.
Later. All right, Panther Nation, check us out. Later on, guys. Peace.
Later.